Hi, my name is Robert Thomas DeVincentis. I'm the author of the Book of Kings that deals with aftermath science based on the four subjects of science, nature, man, and God. I'm the historical orator of the origins of that from the beginning to the end. Today we're going to be talking about the false view of the cosmos by the scientific community. We were very fortunate the last few days to the big buildup of the eclipse that happened here now in the year 2024, and the other one that crisscrossed on the 17th, year 2017. And of course, everybody and his brother making videos about oh, woe is us, and all kinds of bad things are going to happen, this, that, and the other. Well, there are signs that could relate to phenomena that God wants us to know. Certainly there was an eclipse when Christ died, on the day that he died, and the earth was darkened. And also there's other things in the cosmos, like the Bethlehem star, and every year we have the calendar years of the stars, the moon, and the sky, and there are different seasons where they are at different points in the sky and so forth, plus our lunar year and the Earth's orbit around the sun. So all these things, again, we start with the information of light, which I'm the author of Aftermath Science, that said that light was instantaneous by command. It was the first thing that God made, and that the earth was the first thing that God also made materially, is that we could see besides light, and then he made the sun, the moon, and the stars after on one day, and the rest of the time he was making things here on earth. So which has more? Again, the earth has more than the cosmos, even though we're in a state of awe about the heavens. And I've said prior that no earth, no heavens, that even though in the infancy of the church they believed that the earth was the center of the universe, it really is, because before anything else was made, the earth was made first. So wouldn't it be there in the middle somewhere? Of course it would. Then the sun was made, and then we go around the sun. Okay, Galileo, 2 points for that. However, you're wrong on the idea that Earth really was the center, and that this timepiece, again, where the lights from all these different planetary things and everything else in the Earth tells us the days, the times, from the beginning of creation until the very end of it, when God makes a new heaven and a new earth. So that's a very interesting subject, which science, again, even though they're great in all their medical sciences and their calculations and all this, that, and the other, but what they've done is they've made God their science, when really the reality is that science is nothing more than a gift from God. But it's not a complete science, because the world was miraculously made. And again, in other talks that I gave, that we have the predisposition of every living thing, starting with human beings. Predisposition, they weren't made like other people. They were made, and the woman was taken out of man and so forth, and then from that we have the human race. So that's not really going to be traceable. In the animal kingdom, same way. Their seed brings about their existence over and over and over again. Same thing with a blade of grass, whatever it is. It was already here at the creation, and it was fruitful, blessed by God, and it brought about it. So what we have now, we have these eclipses and people running around in a panic. We have all these scientists with their telescopes now. They're out there in the cosmos taking pictures. And again, just because you can take a picture of something doesn't know you know what it is. You try to label everything, and these are bad witnesses. And then they see something that they proclaim is 13 billion light years away, and other galaxies now that they can see clearly, that are just like ours, the Milky Way and all. Okay, so these things were already known. Everybody knew there was other galaxies. It's just that you didn't have a telescope that you could see it. Now they could say it, oh yeah, there it is. But I said from the beginning that there's no such thing as new light, and it didn't take 13 billion years from that light to get here. It was instantaneous by command. God said, let there be light. And he said that these would be the luminaries in the sky after he created the heavens that would bring light upon the earth. So the whole notion that this is some old earth that we're living on with 13 billion years and we're some infant spot in the whole spectrum of it is wrong. The earth is the oldest object in the entire universe. There's nothing older than that. That's correct. So all the hoopla about things coming down, meteorites or whatever, asteroids hitting the earth, killing dinosaurs and all this kind of stuff, continental drift, no way. All the information on fossil fuels, this, that, and the other happened. No, it did not. You know, look, you're taught a certain way in the schools that you were brought up in. However, what if your science is all wrong? What if these scientists that can't really proclaim God, because if they did, they'd say, well, why don't you believe the Bible? See, they're not going to go in that direction. They're not going to give any credence. They had intelligent design in outer space, and that went nowhere. But then we just had the eclipse. How about that moon? It perfectly blots out the sun. What are the chances of something like that happening? The distance between the earth and the way the sun is and the earth in relationship to it. That is incredible. That's miraculous. If you don't see the power of God working in that, or trying to understand the cosmos, the whole universe with the telescope, and then saying, oh, woe is us and all the disasters that are happening out there that we claim that we can see, you know, black holes and things. These things were never created to bring a problem here on earth. Now, certainly, if you read the Bible, we can get into the prophecies of the sun not holding its power and the moon or brighter or dimmer, you know, blood red and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, those are all true things that are coming upon the earth or to get your attention, and maybe the world is coming to an end because God did say that he made a short work. However, he's going to make a new world and a new heavens and a new earth, and it doesn't concern your panic where you're running all over the place like a chicken with your head cut off, which is totally wrong. You need to understand a couple things here. Instead of letting science take your imagination way down the primrose path where you don't believe that God is a good God and he created the world good. Now, certainly we have volcanoes and earth eruptions and these kinds of things. And, you know, there are disasters that happen in the world, certainly. And there's no doubt about that. The changes of the seasons, the clothes you wear and what you do is going to prolong your life. You know, but the man has reasoning. He's been dealing with these things for thousands of years. So now all of a sudden, in the last 200 years, they tried to debunk the creation story in the book of Genesis. And now, we have a better telescope, or we know that when we look at the animal bones, it doesn't match up somehow. No, and they're creating, water was brought here by a comet, instead of saying God made a man and a woman. And, I mean, how could that be? Do you ever look at some of these people? How could you say that? But this is the distortion that happens. So you don't believe God in his word. You don't believe the 10 Commandments anymore. The United States, Christian nation, been over that. Everybody planted their flags. All these nations that were here were Christians. People that were here were Christians. The Declaration of Independence mentioned the Creator. Then they laid hands on the Bible. Oh, you mean the Bible, that Creator? Yeah, that's the one in the Old Testament and the New Testament of Jesus Christ. That Bible, yes, that's the Bible That's where the information comes from. This is a Christian nation, but yet, when they were talked about the eclipse and they have all these great people on TV, not one person mentioned the greatness of God in his creation. That is quite telling. Quite telling. Especially in a country where you have freedom of religion. Do you really? Freedom of speech? Do you really? No, these things are a byword now. And the reason why that is because the law has been corrupted. Totally corrupted. And that's where we're at. We're in a corruptible world, not only here in the United States, but also overseas. So what's the remedy for all this? Well, the remedy is get your focus back on God and realize that he created a good earth that you're supposed to be responsible for. Take care of it. And you're supposed to find comfort in knowing these things instead of being taken down the primrose path every day with scientific baloney on everything. Is that what you want your kids to know? Is that what you want them to believe and, go through life paranoid on every level because of the scientific community can't get their head on right? They're legislating science from the bench. Can you believe that? Yes. They don't even, the medical community and everything, when does life begin? Does it begin at conception? I mean, look, this is the crazy world that you live in. So what's the alternative? The alternative is to be smart, believe in Jesus Christ. I happen to be a Roman Catholic. I think that there's no greater religion on the face of the earth that has the faith and the knowledge of, especially when you get into the sacraments and things like that. Now you could say, oh, you just preaching religion. No, I'm a historian. I have nothing to do with theology, but I know theology very well. But it doesn't detract from the historical things that I'm trying to impart to you in such a small or limited time. If you want to do something for yourself, always pray and ask God if the things that the people are telling you or leading you in the right direction are really true. That's one way of knowing of whether or not you're running into people that know what they're talking about. Now, I'm not saying I have all the answers. No, I really don't. What I'm trying to tell you is that science doesn't have all the information and knowledge that they have in the toolbox because it's very limited. They can't explain time, the number of stars, space. These things are beyond human comprehension, and yet they are finite. And yet time is fleeting away. So there is the abolishment of different things that are going to take place, and why the scientific community has to tie you up for hundreds of years in some kind of scientific notions about how you came about and everything else, when the real reality is that Christ, the God-man, the Son of God, became a man 2,000 years ago, entered in via the woman. So we're greater than AI, we're greater than quantum AI, because these things cannot come to the conclusion by reason. It cannot come to the conclusion on the things that I'm talking about. And that's the big difference. Not that I'm better than you could feed it to all the information in a dictionary, a library, or whatever, everything else, but that doesn't mean that it's smarter than you. No, it's not. Its intelligence is only as smart as it is in what you're feeding into it. So if you feed into it a bunch of stuff that is meaningless or worthless or that's going to change in time, then you're not getting the correct information. So having said all this tonight, and I wanted to bring up the eclipse because everybody and his brother had something good or bad to say about it or whatever. Oh, woe is us and everything else. Yeah, that might be true. There is a punishment, perhaps, that could happen on people because they don't follow God. But we know that Jesus Christ died on the cross for the sins of the world. And he didn't come here to condemn the world, but he came here to save it. So that's the vein that we're in. Hopefully we stay in that vein until Christ comes again. So I wish you a good evening, and I hope to talk to you again. Thank you.